Sounds True presents the Self-Hypnosis Diet with Dr. Stephen Gergovich.
Welcome to the Self-Hypnosis Diet. I'm Dr. Stephen Gergovich. I'm a psychologist specializing in mind-body medicine. I've been in private practice for over 30 years, teaching self-hypnosis to both patients and physicians. I'm also a clinical assistant professor of medicine within Dr. Andrew Weil's program in integrative medicine at the University of Arizona. My own personal interest in medical hypnosis began when I was a teenager and learned to use it as a form of anesthesia and anxiety relief for myself. I absolutely love teaching self-hypnosis, and sharing what I've discovered is within each of us. This audio program is divided into 3 CDs. Disc 1, the one you're listening to now, will introduce you to self-hypnosis and reprogramming your perfect weight. Discs 2 and 3 contain the trance work sessions. The self-hypnosis diet does not impose a diet on you. Instead, it provides the missing ingredient in all other diets. That is, the self-hypnosis diet addresses the role and power of your mind to make any diet or lifestyle change more effective. My emphasis will be on guiding your hypnosis to help you maintain healthy thoughts, emotions, and beliefs which assure healthy eating patterns. The self-hypnosis diet is about energy. Focusing mental energy, much like a magnifying glass focuses the sunlight, to achieve your perfect weight. You might view this as a diet of mental energy that transforms your self-image, your motivation, and your beliefs into your perfect weight. The first thing I would like to tell you about hypnosis is what it is not. One myth and misconception about hypnosis is that hypnosis is done to someone or someone gets hypnotized. That is totally false. No one hypnotizes another person. A good therapist or clinician only facilitates helping someone learn to do this, much like they would learn to do meditation. Loss of consciousness is another misconception. You do not lose consciousness. At all times, you will be fully aware of where you are and what you are doing. But the hypnotic trance itself will be similar to what you experience when you are in a daydream, when you're more absorbed in your own thoughts and ideas. Another misconception is surrendering of your will. Again, that is false. At all times, you are in control, and you will not do anything against your will or your best interest. This also includes revealing secrets or embarrassing yourself. You would not do anything in a trance that you would not do in a regular waking state. So, you are in control. Another misconception is that you might not be able to come out of trance. Everyone comes out of trance because they put themselves into it. Hypnosis can naturally lead into sleep, which is a way of coming out of trance because sleep is not hypnosis, it is sleep. If you think of a hypnotic trance as being similar to a daydream, you'll have a better feel for just what it is and what it is not. Now let's move on to helping you learn how to use hypnosis. I'm going to proceed as if you are in my office and I'm working directly with you. As you join me by listening to this information, you are preparing your subconscious mind to accept the hypnotic suggestions that are presented in the trance work sessions on discs 2 and 3. The ingredients for hypnosis include motivation, belief, and expectation. You have to want something to be able to make the hypnotic suggestions work for you. And you have to allow yourself to believe that it is possible. Even if you pretend that you believe that it's possible, that is more than good enough. Then you must have some form to what you are believing, some expectation of what will happen. And the combination of motivation, belief, and expectation make this happen for you from within you. Mind and body are always speaking together. They're always in communication, talking together. Every thought and idea in your mind has an effect on your body. Thoughts are things. You cannot see them, but you know you have them. You may not feel every thought, but if we had biofeedback sensors attached to your body, you would see the instantaneous changes in your body based on your thoughts. For example, if I said, think of someone who makes you angry, you would see immediate changes to heart function, blood vessels, changes in your nervous system and muscle tension, all based on just having a thought. Your body responds to your thoughts, positive or negative. And just as your thoughts influence your body influences your thoughts. So there are times when you feel something in your body that causes you to feel an emotion, and some of those are things like hunger or thirst. But sometimes there's a confusion where a feeling of being emotionally hurt might be confused with a feeling of I need to eat or I want to eat. Those are some of the dynamics that we'll be exploring and addressing within the self-hypnosis diet. The how-tos about hypnosis include going into trance, deepening the trance, using the trance to give messages to the mind of your body, and coming out of trance. Hypnosis is a system of methods that help mind and body share information more effectively. And one of those methods is trance. Trance is a clinical term from the language of medical hypnosis, and a trance is similar to a daydream. In both daydream and trance, you are more absorbed in your own thoughts than you are in the environment around you. In discs 2 and 3, I will guide you with methods that allow you to go into your trance. These are called trance induction methods. You've probably seen the swinging watch method, which in 35 years of practice, I've never seen anyone actually use it. But there are many other different ways to go into trance. Someone might stare at a spot on the wall, or use a breathing technique, or use progressive body relaxation. You'll hear some of these induction methods on the trance work discs, but those are merely the cues or the signals that you are giving to yourself to say, I am going into trance, or I'm going to do my hypnosis now. With little children, I do not use the word trance or hypnosis. With little children, I just say, pretend. And your ability to pretend is just as good as ever. It may be rusty, but if you allow yourself to pretend and let yourself believe in what you are pretending, this is an incredibly powerful way to deliver your intentions, the messages of what you want, to all of the cells and tissues and organs of your body which respond to bring that about for you. So as I said earlier, thoughts are things. The thoughts, the pictures, the ideas you put in your mind become the messages that you are using as you use your hypnosis to access the mind-body connection. A hypnotic trance is not sleep. It is a waking state where you are absorbed in your own thoughts and ideas so well that you are excluding the stimuli from the environment around you, or even within you. You can choose what and how to respond. For example, a part of your body during trance may itch, but you choose not to scratch it. The phone rings and you decide you do not need to answer it. Becoming absorbed in your thoughts and ideas is the gentle journey of going into the center of yourself that I am referring to as going into trance. This is a very powerful state of mind, for it directly accesses your mind-body connection, which responds to the hypnotic suggestions offered by my voice, as well as your own suggestions, which come in the form of words or ideas, or more powerfully, the images and pictures that you put in your mind as I'm speaking. At the end of the trance work sessions, you'll hear me speaking about letting your body awaken with a feeling of refreshment and well-being, and bringing that refreshment with you to the front surface of your mind so that you come out of trance feeling comfortably renewed and alert. Or perhaps you may drift into a deep sleep if that's appropriate at the time. After you are alert, it's important to debrief. This is the time to make a note or two for yourself if thoughts or ideas came to mind that would be useful to you. For oftentimes during trance, not only are you giving messages to your body, but your body is talking to you. Your body can share information that you can use, and you may want to write it down. So let's say you have a particular food that you just cannot resist, a food that has been your downfall in dieting. During the trance work, you may get an insight that tells you why that particular food became an obstacle or even a comfort to you emotionally. And that insight now allows you to choose what you want and not just carry out the previous pattern that was established perhaps decades ago, that was born out of some emotional experience that is now long past and no longer valid in your life. So in addition to talking to your mind, you'll also be listening to the mind of your body. During the trance work, you'll hear me speak of two parts of your mind. One part of your mind is the conscious, thinking mind. That's the part of you that's excellent at telling time, making change, learning how to read and write. This is your thinking mind. Throughout the trance work, your thinking mind will continue doing its normal activity of having thoughts. So you don't have to worry about clearing your mind or emptying your mind or putting your mind totally at peace. Simply notice that your mind will continue thinking, and your job is to unplug or disconnect just enough so that you don't have to be reacting to those thoughts. You give them permission to stream by. The other part of mind that you are using is what I call your subconscious mind. Sub because it is below or beneath your thinking level of awareness. And I refer to that as the mind of your body. Your subconscious mind has the wisdom to carry out all the functions to manage trillions of cells within your body, to manage your body chemistry, all of the body functions of breathing, digestion, nervous system, endocrine system, immune responses. The mind of your body has an immense amount of wisdom, and in doing your hypnosis, you are accumulating and acquiring additional wisdom that the mind of your body will act upon, consistent with your motivation, your belief, and your expectation to help you with your weight loss. Some of the ways we communicate to the mind of the body are directly with words. Another way is with images and ideas where you use your imagination to picture what you want as if you already have it. I will guide you with examples of perhaps seeing yourself in a clothing store trying on clothes, or at a banquet, or doing things where you are now behaving, performing, and having everything you need to be totally successful in achieving your weight loss. So pictures and images are very powerful ways to offer hypnotic suggestions to the mind of your body. Don't worry about any previous negative or self-sabotaging patterns. It really does not matter what it has been like for the past 10 or even 50 years. All that's important now is what you are teaching your body now by replacing old patterns with new ones. Anything that has been learned can be unlearned by learning something else. As a tiny child, you may have learned to throw a ball with your right hand, but if you chose to, you could change that and throw with your left hand. You could learn to play a saxophone, and right now you might say, "Oh, I couldn't play a saxophone." Well, right now, it's true that you don't play a saxophone, but if you wanted to, if the motivation were there, and if you allowed yourself to believe, "I can do it," and expected that in a few months I'll be playing a few notes or learning a tune, you would make it happen. So we will be using pictures and images as a way to move into the future and see it as if it has already happened and to believe it as if it has already happened. Someone much wiser than I am said, "It'll be done unto you according to your belief. Your belief is powerful. Another thing that you need to know about the subconscious mind is that it has a language of its own. It doesn't think like you think. You're able to think with figures of speech. You know how to use abstractions. The mind of your body, your subconscious, understands everything through its own language only. And its language is literal, concrete and literal. So if you say to yourself, and you've probably heard yourself or others say this line, "I want to lose weight so badly," you know what they mean. They want to lose weight. But imagine that their subconscious mind is right there taking their order like a little waiter or waitress within them. And that waiter or waitress hears the first part, "I want to lose weight," writes it down and then asks, "How would you like that done? Badly? Okay, that's exactly how you're going to get it. Badly." Now that's not what you wanted, but that is what the subconscious mind hears. So using the language of the subconscious mind will be my job when structuring the hypnotic suggestions. Another way of looking at that language of the subconscious mind is with the word try. You know what try means. You've probably used the word quite often, but I cannot show you a try, and you cannot show a try to somebody else because it doesn't occupy space or have weight like a chair or a pencil. Things that are matter occupy space and have weight. You can see them, weigh them, touch them, but a try is something we only have an idea about. We know figuratively with our conscious mind what we mean with a try, like try to be on time or try to fall asleep or I'll try to remember. But trying is not doing. You might remember back to the wisdom of Yoda in Star Wars. It is do or do not. There is no try. And you can do it slowly, quickly, rapidly, comfortably, easily. You can do it any number of ways. But if you find yourself saying, "I'm trying," that is not the same as doing. And that is a mixed message to the mind of your body. So I want you to be sensitive to the word try. In the self-hypnosis diet, there is no trying allowed. This is a do or do not proposition. And I know you can do this. Another thing I would like you to become sensitive to is the nots. Actually, I want you to remember this. Never the nots. When you are speaking to yourself or offering suggestions to your subconscious, remove the nots. Anytime you are using the word not something, such as "I am not hungry," or "I do not want another piece of cake," all your subconscious mind hears is what follows the not. But the not means nothing to the subconscious mind. If a person says, "I do not want a cigarette," all the subconscious mind hears is "want a cigarette." Never the nots. Throw away not, throw away try. A figure of speech that I would like to address is metaphor. Metaphors are those terms and phrases that we hear people speak, but they're not fully aware of what they are saying to the mind of their body. For example, "I just look at food and I gain weight. If I eat ice cream, it's like I just slap it right onto my hips." Or I heard somebody once say, "If I walk past a buffet of desserts, they seem to jump right off like magnets to my rear end." Those are metaphors. And then you've heard other people say, "I can eat anything and not gain an ounce." There have been studies that looked at this phenomenon. We found that those people who are convinced, who believe that "I can eat anything and not gain an ounce," when we let them eat anything they want, letting them gorge themselves, their body did everything it could to not gain weight. Their metabolism increased, the motility of their intestines and digestion and elimination increased, they perspired more. Their body did everything it could to fulfill that suggestion that I can eat anything and not gain an ounce. They also found themselves feeling a greater sense of fullness much sooner than others would. The other group that said, I just look at food and gain weight, they were shown food, but they weren't allowed to eat it. And that group actually showed physical signs of trying to maintain their weight. They perspired much less. Their urine became concentrated. The motility through their gut slowed down. Their bodies went into a mode to slow down metabolism to actually fulfill that suggestion that looking at food causes them to gain weight. So that is just a quick example of how the metaphors we use are actually powerful messages to the mind of our body without you even being aware of it. Here is something very special you need to know about your subconscious mind. It cannot tell the difference between what is real and what you imagine or believe in mind to be true. Perhaps you've had this experience. You're walking along a sidewalk, a trail, or even on the carpet in your house, and you jump out of the way of something that turns out to be harmless, a piece of string or a rubber band. But in the moment you jumped out of the way, there was a part of you that believed you needed to be jumped out of the way even before you could think to do it. Your subconscious mind couldn't tell the difference between what was real or what it imagined. It jumped you out of the way to protect you. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's real and what you imagine. So that's why we will use your imagination to provide messages that your subconscious mind will treat as real in promoting your weight loss. If you want to use an aversive association of foods, that is, to give certain foods a negative association, which will help you easily avoid it, here is something fresh off the presses at the National Academy of Science. One of the leading experts on memory and false memory with her colleagues designed experiments and published research findings that demonstrated how a false memory about eating a fattening food in childhood, which made them sick, caused the person to avoid that food when it was offered to them later. We've all had experiences of a food making us ill in childhood, or at least that's what we came to believe about that incident. And even today, we may find that food unappealing because of a negative or aversive association to it. It may have been decades ago, yet our memory about it strongly influences our behavior to avoid it. The research published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science in summer 2005 is titled, False Beliefs About Fattening Foods Can Have Healthy Consequences. So you might choose to invent or create a false memory about a food that once made you sick in childhood. Use your imagination to embellish it with imagery of when it happened, where you were, how you felt. Give it details. Create a scenario that will fit for you. And when that food is presented to you as a choice, you can more easily avoid it. This could be particularly useful for those fattening or high-calorie foods that had previously been an obstacle to your weight loss in the past. Here is something to learn from this research. It validates what I've been telling you about the subconscious mind's ability to respond to what you let yourself believe, whether true or false. Your belief makes it real for you because your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is real and what you imagine. The trance work in the audio session for Healthy Habits will remind you of this again. Now, there are a couple of basic laws about hypnosis, and the most important is the law of dominant effect. Whatever has the dominance of your thought, whatever has the dominance of your belief, is what your body is going to act upon. So if 51% of your mind believes A, and only 49% of your mind believes B, you're going to get A, what the majority, what the dominance of your thought is. So that means you don't have to have the perfect 100% belief. You just have to have the dominance of your belief, focused on what you want. There's another law called the law of reversed effect that says that sometimes the more you try to do something, the more it doesn't happen. An example of that would be when you want to say a name that you know you know. It may be a book title, a person, a movie. You know it, but you can't say it at that moment. And the more you try, the less it's there. It happens when you suggest to your subconscious mind that, oh, I'll remember later, or it'll come to me later. And by letting go of the question, what's the name? What's the name? By letting go of the question, you've released your subconscious mind to now retrieve and deliver the answer. And it always does. So the law of reversed effect is when you are trying too hard for something, it only gives you the opposite, the reverse. Remain mindful of the dominant effect and the reverse effect, for they'll help you. Remember, the power is in believing and doing, no trying or doubting. Next, we're going to address the ideas for your conscious and subconscious mind to absorb that will be woven into the hypnotic trance work on discs 2 and 3. I'm going to be talking about the elements of successfully reprogramming your perfect weight. Your job is to be open-minded. And if you can be open-minded to these ideas, that is, no doubts, no questions, it is like saying yes to the mind of your body when it hears these same ideas during the trance work session. You always have the opportunity to adjust or tailor the words I'm speaking or the images I'm describing to fit you. And this tailoring process is very important. It has to fit you because this is your self-hypnosis. And all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. This is not something done to you. It is something that you are being guided to experience. And as you experience this, you are learning it. And as you repeat the experience with repetition and rehearsal, that learning is becoming a form of solid ability and knowledge within you. You might even call it subconscious knowledge because your subconscious mind can carry it out for you without you having to even think of it. So the pictures and ideas that may have been troubling you about your weight in the past or your abilities to lose weight in the past are now being changed to something that is supporting your perfect body weight. And the mind of your body is memorizing this experience. You've heard me use the phrase perfect weight. And what I'm referring to here is not the American cultural standard of looking like a fashion model or being like somebody in a TV advertisement. Your perfect body weight is the body weight where you are healthy and happy, where you can love yourself and enjoy yourself. There are many other cultures in the world that show incredible respect and desire to people who by American culture standards would be overweight. Don't punish yourself with our distorted cultural standard. Drop it and look at what is real and reasonable for your perfect weight. In our particular culture, dieting and weight loss is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they want everyone to think that they have to fit that mold. And the more you try to do it, the more they will keep changing the rules of the game. And this is not reality. 65% of Americans are overweight. We have more obesity in America than anywhere else in the world. We have all this obesity, and at the same time, we have an incredible multi-billion-dollar industry for weight loss. So it is important for you to think about the many facets that will constitute your perfect weight. In selecting your perfect weight, you must throw out that cultural myth about being a thin model. That's just a myth. It's not a reality for everyone, and it's not healthy for everyone. So you select what the perfect weight is for you. A place where you are healthy, where you are happy, and enjoy a lifestyle that supports your healthy weight for you. That's what I'm referring to as your perfect weight. Another good reason to remove yourself from the thin is in crowd is compassion. Our culture's obsession with thinness and self-image is painfully judgmental and hurtful to individuals struggling with weight issues. In my clinical practice, I hear the private feelings of individuals who cannot even tell their friends or family about the stares or the offhand remarks about their weight that they have to endure for fear of being told that they just need to lose weight or not eat so much. Although the majority of people in the U.S. are overweight, they are judged more harshly than many minorities. Our society needs much more compassion and sensitivity when it comes to accepting all shapes, sizes, colors, or creeds. Shield yourself from the insensitive society that buys into the commercialism of thinness. These emotional prices are at your expense. You have to start where you are. And one of the things I want you to remember is that you have everything you need to be successful already within you. Everything you need. Your innate potential is already equipped to give you exactly what you want in having your perfect weight. So you have to let go of past experience as predicting or telling you what is. What is that you have everything you need within you to change, to adapt, to lose weight, to have anything you want, including all of the behaviors that would support the healthy weight you want. Starting where you are also means you cannot be unrealistic by diving into an extreme exercise program or diving into an extreme diet. Start where you are. You begin today. Today is today. Tomorrow will come tomorrow. And with each new now day, you are moving forward, making the adjustments and the progress that are creating the perfect weight for you. So let go of the past and allow yourself to look forward to a wonderful future experience each day. I want to point out some basic rules for you to follow, and they're important. They are simple but important. Number 1, no blaming. Number 2, no judging. Number 3, no stressing about a diet or with a diet. In other words, there will be no excuses allowed to divert you from your success. There will be no mental energy wasted on negative thoughts of any kind whatsoever, or not for long anyway. It will be normal for you to blame a piece of cake, or blame a mother-in-law who forces food on people, or blame a vacation, or make judgments about how you feel about your body. Forget it. No blaming, no judging, no stressing with a diet. No matter what diet method or whatever lifestyle change method you are using, you have to approach this without stress, but with desire. It's important to recognize that everything is a choice. Which do you want more, the weight problem or your perfect weight? The answer comes when you no longer want the problem. So everything is a choice. And if at any time you think that it is not a choice, correct yourself. And remember, no judging. Be open-minded. It can change. And also, choose the body you want. Create the lifestyle that you want that will support that body weight. Change can be inconvenient at the beginning until you adjust and adapt to it. And then it is a prize. It is a treasure that you have achieved for yourself. Remind yourself that these changes you are making are your choices, and they are welcomed changes. You can also recognize other change as your choice. By choosing, you can control everything that goes into your mouth, everything that goes into your pantry, your refrigerator, every physical activity you do or do not do. Everything is a choice. So as you begin choosing success, you will be making a lot of choices that are good for you. But you must protect your success. Protecting your success means that you're going to have to avoid some people, some places, some events, or be adequately prepared and rehearsed to handle them in a way that allows you to protect your success. Your subconscious will hear hypnotic suggestions about this in the trance work. Motivation is of key importance, but you need more than motivation. You need knowledge, tips, techniques, advice that help you achieve what you're motivated for. I often say to my patients that whatever it is you want, whether it is pain relief or weight loss, you have to be motivated, and I want you to be so motivated that you're as motivated as when you are in a swimming pool and you get a mouthful of water. And in that moment, when you feel like you're choking, you want a breath of air more than anything else in the world. That is the only thing on your mind at that moment. And that is how much you have to want your perfect body weight. For your motivation will carry you through. Your motivation will also allow you to be open to accept and accumulate all of the tips, techniques, and knowledge you need to make it happen. It is important to recognize where sources of stress are for you because research shows that many people will eat when they are in stressful situations. So I'll be offering you suggestions during the trance work that help you identify how stress influences your eating behavior. One of the ways you reduce stress is by using the antidote to stress, relaxation. In doing self-hypnosis, relaxation is built in. We are going to be using relaxation and peacefulness of mind that will provide a form of insulation and inoculation to protect you from those stressful places that have been previously provoking unhealthy eating behavior. I want you to be mindful of how stress affects your eating patterns because you'll be in charge of changing these patterns, and your subconscious mind will hear hypnotic suggestions to help you do it effortlessly. It's no secret that our emotions can interfere with the achievement of any goal, particularly weight loss. Amongst the different emotions, I'd like to first mention guilt. People I've known who are overweight feel guilty that they're overweight. They feel responsible for being overweight, and they either blame themselves or they blame other things in their environment for being overweight. The first step is to detach from blaming, removing yourself from it, and just recognize what is present. Guilt may be present. Anger may be present. Sadness may be present. Pain can be present. Just acknowledge that it's there because you can't deny it. And if you believe it's there, it is there. But remove the reaction or the string of events that cause you to react to it in a negative way. So first, acknowledge how different emotional factors are influencing your eating behavior. Guilt is one of them. Perhaps maybe even at a very, very early age, there was a sense of guilt or that you were not good enough because you had gained some weight, or you had a weight problem, or that you were a problem, or even felt guilty about not eating all of your food. Also, I will be using the hypnotic trance work to uncover the hidden motivation or the hidden reason or purpose for weight gain. And this includes examining the distinction between are you really hungry or are you really angry or hurt or sad? Sometimes the emotions are suppressed by shifting into something that's pleasurable or distracting, such as eating. And that habit often starts in our childhood or adolescence. Look at the emotional barriers and emotional factors, much like looking at a minefield. And you have to go through removing and defusing landmines so that you can go through life and have emotions, but not let them explode into body fat or excess weight. You want to defuse all of those emotional factors and barriers to achieve what you want, which is your perfect body weight. This involves distinguishing between hunger, thirst, and emotions such as anger, sadness, hurt, and recognizing what is really the need, the desire, or the problem. Also, it's helpful to pinpoint when the weight gain began. I've had some patients go back to a time when they were 6 or 7 years old and recall perhaps an illness when they saw their parents extremely frightened, fearful they were losing weight and they would die. Or at least that's the way the child perceived their parents' fear. So eating became a way of not scaring others and not worrying about dying. I remember one young woman during trance was relating to me that when she was 9 years old, her mother got a job, and she vividly recalled how she came home after school for the first time and mom was not there. And she felt this incredible emptiness within her until she saw the note on the kitchen table that said, "I left some vanilla pudding in the refrigerator for you." She clearly recalled how good the vanilla pudding tasted and how it filled that empty place within her. Again, that is how some of these origins of emotional eating begin without us realizing that it is happening. Another source of emotional eating can be trauma. And I've seen many patients who go through a traumatic experience that then causes them to gain weight as a way of controlling their attractiveness to protect themselves. An example is a woman I saw who received a scholarship to a modeling school after graduating from high school. She took the train to another city. There were dormitories for the young women at this modeling college. She was the first to arrive, and that night the janitor showed her to her room before he raped her. And for the first 3 months, she found herself in a constant state of anxiety, dropping out of the modeling school and exploding up to a weight of over 200 pounds, which stayed with her for the next 20 years until we began addressing where this came from. Those examples, an illness where a child learns that they must eat to survive, and frightened parents who unknowingly reinforce the message, or the individual has an emptiness, there's a loss, and the food is a comfort that fills or replaces that emotion, or a traumatic event linked to being attractive that led to putting on excess weight. Remember, everything is a choice, and once you recognize the emotional origin, you can choose to keep it or change it. It all depends on whether that emotional need is still valid and how much you now want to satisfy that need at this point in your life. Does your weight still protect you from the attractiveness that puts you at risk of being assaulted? Do you still have that loss or emptiness that needs to be comforted with food? The trance work will offer hypnotic suggestions to help you pinpoint and put together where or how these subconscious patterns evolve. It is of vital importance that you're able to accept yourself and to have a healthy self-image. And that means loving yourself. That means being kind to yourself. It means feeling sexy, feeling attractive without any reservation, without any judgment. Make the choice that I'm going to accept myself the way I am today. I accept myself today. And at the same time, you are still making choices about how to improve yourself, how to achieve your perfect body weight. But you have to be loving to yourself along the way. If you hate your body or hate your self-image or hate yourself, you're not going to be successful. But if you start accepting and loving yourself, you are already on the road to making wonderful changes. Your subconscious mind is hearing everything you hear, everything you say, everything you imagine. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is real and what you imagine, pretend, or say or picture to yourself. This includes what it hears me speaking during the trance work. So positive ideas, positive self-acceptance, positive, healthy self-image, and loving thoughts are priorities. These ideas can be activated by putting on a bathing suit or being nude in front of a mirror and looking at your body and recognizing these are healthy cells. I have healthy limbs. I have healthy skin. I am a miracle of life and anatomy. And as you love the trillions of cells within your body, they respond to the vibration of love and conform to whatever you lead them to experience. No matter what diet or method you are using, loving yourself, self-acceptance, healthy self-image are vital mental ingredients for success. This will be well woven into the trance work. You can use your self-hypnosis to make physiological changes, boosting metabolism, to increase the motility through which foods travel your digestive system. You can also alter the sensation of satiety or feeling full halfway through a meal. Some people talk about a fat gene. Oh, I'm fat because everybody in my ancestry is fat. Genes are unique, and we've thought for a long time that genes control our destiny. If that's so, then we're going to get what we get whether we like it or not. Recently, there has been research that says belief is so powerful that genes actually change. In other words, a gene, just like a cell, is so intelligent that when it knows it cannot change the environment, it changes itself. And if the environment is high fat, high sugar, too much food, that cell and that gene change to fit the environment. On the other hand, if the environment is a healthy diet with adequate physical activity, that fat cell and that gene will adapt and adjust to reflect that environment. So your beliefs are more powerful than you realize. They will actually change the genetic instructions for your perfect body weight to happen. This will also be another feature you'll hear within the trance work. At the same time as you make changes in the environment, your cells and genes will make adjustments to what you believe and what you provide as your new environment. And the healthy environment is the one that allows cells and genes to thrive and revitalize. You control the environment you provide to your body. You want to provide the very best environment possible. You probably already know a great deal about nutrition and diets, but you need to nourish your cells so that they stay in harmony and are vitally able to respond to your thoughts. So in nourishing your cells, one of the very first things you want to do is provide food to your body that is wholesome and nutrient dense, as close to nature as possible and brimming with health supporting and vital ingredients. Lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, protein-rich nuts and seeds and beans and fish, and perhaps even some bit of animal protein if you wish. And drink plenty of water to quench and flush and revive every cell of your body. Start where you are, moving in that direction, and it will get easier and easier. These are simple palate changes, and these changes occur quickly. Your palate will easily learn to enjoy fresh, nourishing foods, and during the process, you are unlearning unhealthy food choices. There are many saboteurs. One of those is the social gathering where you have to gracefully decline food offerings. There is also the person who does not accept that no graciously, like the well-meaning mother-in-law who has her feelings hurt if you have smaller portions and decline second helpings. You have to be prepared for dealing with those saboteurs. If you want your perfect body weight, then you have to make sure that they do not undermine your efforts. You are working diligently at this. Remember, too, in your own household, you are choosing foods to support your perfect weight, even if others are eating differently. There are also hidden saboteurs. For example, aspartame, artificial sweeteners, Research has shown that people using diet beverages actually gain weight rather than lose weight. Part of it may be the actual toxic chemistry of that artificial substance, and another part might be that when people are using these so called diet foods, they feel a sense of freedom to deviate from their diet plan. And that's another hidden saboteur. If it is not in agreement with your plan for your perfect body weight, you have to choose to not want one, to not want any, by choosing something else you want more, your perfect body weight. I would like you to remember that you are always in control of everything that goes into your mouth. So don't let anything into your mouth unless it is helping you achieve your perfect body weight. My wife, Joy, is a behavioral nutritionist, and her motto is everything you put in your mouth should promote health and vitality and always be absolutely delicious. I've come to find that this is not about denying yourself delectable treats. For once your palate learns to enjoy nourishing foods, you are in line for taste treats you've never imagined, and there is never a feeling of deprivation. One interestingly powerful way to stay in control is to put order to your environment. If you live in a place that's cluttered, if you have closets that are jammed full of stuff, you are seeing a reflection of your body. So you want to take control over the clutter of your life, just as you want every one of the trillions of cells of your body to become ordered to reflect your perfect body weight. You put your outside environment in order, and the message is received for the inside environment. Clear out the closets, the drawers. Start where you are. It might be one a week, one a day, but put your physical environment in order. Remove the clutter. It is a reflection of what's going on within you. And as you adjust the outer environment to be more orderly within you, you will feel it within you. And it is another message to the mind of your body about the environment that you want within. And you're in control of all the changes. I mentioned earlier that motivation is important, but you need more than motivation. And one of those needs is physical activity. Some call it exercise. I prefer to call it physical activity or purposeful activity. Activity that makes my body feel good and makes me feel good. In ancient Greece, they had a word for the responsibility of a good citizen to remain healthy and responsible for their health. Each citizen had a responsibility to do things that were conducive and favorable to health and well-being. And the word for it is salubrity. So I want you to enjoy your salubrity, to become salubrious, to do things that are conducive and favorable to health and well-being. And one of the very best and easiest is physical activity. It doesn't matter what your size is. The important thing is you've got to move your body. Start where you are. Don't worry about joining a gym or a fitness center. Just incorporate more activity into your daily schedule. Start where you are. Begin moving your body. As you move your body, you are awakening cells, nerves, tissues with a message that they are getting into condition for you. And each day becomes easier and easier. And sooner or later you discover that you're also pouring out the endorphins, this wonderful chemistry that produces a euphoric feeling of well-being. And as you discover endorphins, you've also discovered something that is very effective in replacing food to feel good emotionally. Brisk walking, a few laps in a pool, or just moving your arms, dancing, foregoing elevators and escalators and taking the stairs, making time each day or most days to go for a walk. Start small. Start where you are. You may not have the time or the energy for more than a 15-minute walk. That's okay. Just do it. In just a short time, your body will beg for a longer walk. and watch how the time in your day seems to expand so that you can include a longer, more energizing walk. I once had a job consulting to a university in South Texas, and for the first time in my life, I found myself gaining weight. It was because of the very tasty and rich foods in this part of South Texas. One of the vice presidents at the university looked like a welterweight boxer and the image of health and vitality. At lunch, I asked him, "How do you do it? How do you not gain weight eating these foods?" He told me that 2 years ago he had a heart attack. He weighed over 200 pounds, smoked 2 or 3 packs of cigarettes a day, and he told me that he fell over with a heart attack and saw how scared his wife and children were. So during his cardiac rehabilitation, he mapped out a 1 mile course from his front door back to his front door that he wanted to walk each day. He told me that he could only walk very small portions before he had to sit down. He was so winded. But after 3 weeks, he noticed he could actually walk the whole distance. Then, over the next few weeks, he walked faster. And then he began running just across the intersections. And then started running a little bit in the middle of the block, too. And then he told me, "That was 2 years ago. Now I run to work. It's 7 miles and I run home." He said, "I can eat as much as I want now. My heart is healthy, I don't smoke, and my body weight has been stable at around 155 pounds. I went back from that consulting trip, mapped out a 1 mile course from my front door, and a year later I was running 11 miles at a clip and feeling better than I ever felt. I was young then, so I could handle the impact. Now, my wife Joy and I walk long 7 mile walks when we have the time, but 3 to 4 times a week we walk our neighborhood for an hour or so. The important thing is to move your body. If it would help to have a gym or be in an exercise class or to have a personal trainer, do it. You deserve it. Whatever it takes in terms of money, you deserve that too. This is about your health. This is about your perfect body weight. When I say your health, I'm talking about your emotional health as well as your physical health. This is for you. Now let's look at the power of belief and believing. Belief is an extremely powerful form of energy. Your thoughts and feelings form your beliefs, what you know to be true. Your thoughts, mental images, and feelings turn into your reality, right down to your body's blueprint, the DNA. Let's look again at you as energy. Quantum physics tells us that everything is energy. Let me take you on a journey inside your body. If you could look inside an electron microscope into your body, you would see your cells. Magnify the cells and you notice that each cell has a nucleus and a membrane wall. Research has shown that if you take the nucleus out, the cell still behaves with intelligence to preserve life. So this membrane actually has an intelligence or a brain. Look deeper into that cell and into that cell wall and you will see that it's made of molecules. These molecules are made of hydrogen, carbon, and other elements that are part of supporting life. Looking deeper into these molecules, you'll see that they're made of atoms. And inside the atom, you'll notice that there are electrons or charged particles that are orbiting around the nucleus at the center. If the circumference of that electron orbit were as large as the circumference of the Earth, the nucleus would relatively be about the size of a cherry. And in between this vast space is filled with energy that is vibrating so fast that in one moment it behaves like matter, solid, and in the next moment it behaves like light, pure energy. And we've come to believe that the rate of speed, the frequency of vibration, is what determines whether it is a solid, a liquid, a gas, light, or just pure energy. The more solid, the slower the vibration. So the vibration in the atoms of a rock or stone are very slow. The vibration in the atoms of living tissue, like you, adjust and are influenced by what you think and what you feel and what you believe. So your thoughts, your mental images, your ideas, your beliefs, what you know to be true, are very powerful influences on the vibrations within you that allow you to change into your perfect body weight. After all, these vibrating energies are you. They respond to your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. So in the self-hypnosis diet, you will be eliminating all negative influences and putting your mental energy into positive beliefs, which transform this vibrating energy into a physical form of your perfect body weight. So by feeling it, by really feeling it, you make it real. Now here's one of those pitfalls. You may have heard people say, I feel fat. Again, what we believe is what physically happens. So you've got to change that. Fat is not a feeling. It's not an emotion at all. It's a physical state. It is a substance. So we have to catch ourselves and say, no, cancel that thought. I feel sad, or I feel upset that my clothes are tight. But do not say, I feel fat, because what you feel with conviction, what you believe you feel, you are making real. Remember, your subconscious mind, that mind of your body, cannot tell the difference between what is real and what you imagine or believe to be true. The Journal of American Dietetics Association in June 2005 published a 2-year study at the University of California that revealed that non-dieters were more successful in making overall changes in their health than were what we call dieters or restrained eaters. They discovered that 92% of the non-dieters stayed in the study, doing all the things to become healthier and thinner, and 42%, almost a half of the people dieting or restraining their eating, dropped out, never finished it, never got through it. So one thing we know about restrained eaters and dieters is that they're not as successful in changing their behaviors as people who do not perceive themselves as dieters. So if you were on a diet, when I said earlier that one of the ground rules was not to stress on a diet, even if you're on a diet, do not be a dieter. You do not have to be one of them. What you are doing is that you are changing your behaviors for a lifetime to support your perfect body weight. You have a body and you have a mind, but you are more than that. You are the essence of living energy that animates every one of your cells and every one of your thoughts and feelings. You are the life force. Some might call that spirit or soul or prana or chi, any number of ways of describing the energy that is you. You are energy, and this energy has purpose and meaning, and that is where the role of spirit is involved. You are more than just a body and just a mind. You are an energy that will last forever, for eternity. And it is very important that you love yourself, for that is the essence of this energy. If you are not loving yourself, you are malnourishing your soul or your spirit or your prana, chi, whatever you choose to call it. You need to nourish your spirit or that energy of spirit by loving yourself. That also means forgiveness, releasing resentments, liberating yourself from any of the negative baggage that you've been carrying around that's only hurting you. There are a lot of books and ways to go about doing that, but it is vital that you address loving yourself, releasing yourself through forgiveness. Remember, forgiveness is not for anybody else. It is only for you. It is for you to give forth or let go of something that's been having a negative effect on you. Also, it is vital to have meaning and purpose along with your perfect body weight. You have to know who you are and have an identity that is helpful in reinforcing that you love yourself so that your body reflects that. Some writers and philosophers have talked about the subconscious mind and this concept of a hole in the soul that is filled by food or drink or work or activities. So if you find that idea compelling, it's worth looking into. How do I spiritually nourish myself? How do I fill this hole within me with something other than food or drink or work? Connecting to your spiritual enrichment, your spiritual nourishment is one of the ways you perform this self-love, but also fill this hole in the soul. The newer you is the person who, after listening to the trance work, begins putting into action many of the suggestions from the trance work. Some of these are self-talk, positive self-talk, moving from judge to observer, noticing what is present and letting go rather than having to respond to it with an emotion or an attitude. You want to choose things based on your intelligence of how they help you achieve your perfect weight, and to just simply exclude what does not. So even though there may be things present, you don't have to make it bad. There are wonderful things in food called proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, and you don't have to make any of them bad. High quality oil and fat is vital for your life. So are complex carbohydrates and proteins. You need them in the right balance, and you need to nourish your body with healthful, wholesome ingredients so that your body reflects how you are taking care of yourself and how you are supporting your vitality and perfect weight. You have to believe in who you are. Your weight is not your identity. You are not an overweight person. Some people might judge you as such, but that is not you, and you do not want to conform to that for any reason. Your weight is not your identity. So if for any reason you felt that way, change your identity now to fit your goals. Being overweight is not a role or identity. A role identity can be a brother, son, sister, mother, carpenter, cook, teacher, father, friend, cousin. But overweight or fat is not a role identity. So if your identity has been overweight or fat or associated to those terms, challenge it, change it. Remember, the self-hypnosis diet and all of the changes that you are making for a lifetime are to support your perfect body weight. This is for you, no one else. It is just for you. As you continue succeeding, you'll reach places where at first it seems like you're stuck. Those plateaus are simply an indication that you've achieved what you set out to do. You've accomplished something, and now it is time to select other things that you will change to continue accomplishing what you want in having your perfect weight. Awakening the newer you is recognizing that you are a body, you are a mind, you are a spirit, and you want to provide positive ideas for your mind, healthy foods for your body, and inspiring thoughts for your spirit, so that your desires are being expressed by your body as your perfect body weight. You want to measure your possibilities by your potential, not by your past. Give up all hope for a better past and move into your better future. So now you are ready to proceed with the trance work. It's now time for your subconscious mind to go to work. You'll notice changes in behaviors, tastes, food preferences, and other wonderful gifts from your subconscious's response to the trance work. This is the point where you are ready to go forward and embrace what you deserve, loving yourself and loving your perfect weight.
This concludes session 1 of the Self-Hypnosis Diet with Dr. Stephen Gergovich. Our program continues with session 2.